OCD goals for the day. So far, I've already failed number one, so definitely not off to a great start. Hoping the rest of the day improves. Wish me luck. So my mom did bring over the gifts. That went okay. Definitely a lot of anxiety, stressful for me. Did not get up the garden flag or bring in the mail, but I did make breakfast and lunch, so that was good. And then ended up needing to put up the shower curtain, which I don't know about anyone else, but for me, when I have something come up that was not planned, that is really anxiety inducing. I have my my planned exposures, and if it's not planned, it definitely is like 1,000 times worse. But I ended up doing it, which actually felt really good after I was done, so that was really nice. I had more time than I'd planned today, so I was also able to wipe the shower. And then one thing I've been working on is touching something that might be contaminated, might not be, and not washing my hands and just sitting in the discomfort of that. That has been kind of a hit or miss. I feel like sometimes certain times of day I feel like are worse, like nighttime for some reason. Like, I don't like doing any exposures at nighttime. I don't know if that's just me. Don't like it. Earlier in the day I do better, but still hard sometimes. Sometimes I'm able to touch even the same thing the first time, and then I go to touch it again and I have to wash my hands. So definitely can be a hit or miss, but I actually did pretty good with the stuff that I ended up touching today, so I'm gonna consider that a win and be happy with it. So, looking at my list at the end of the day, I feel like kind of disappointed because there was 3 things that I'd planned to do that I didn't do at all. But then there was also 3 things that I added that I hadn't planned on doing. So, in that sense, it balances out, but I feel like, especially with the showering in the morning, I go to the bathroom, that I feel like that's really inconvenient. Some days, like the weekends, it's alright, but some days it's like I don't have the time and I have to do it, or I feel that I have to do it. And I'm really wanting to get past that. It's just frustrating. I feel like I want to feel clean and I don't. So that's definitely a big one that I want to keep working on. So I guess all I can keep doing is keep going. Hopefully tomorrow is better. If not, then just keep trying. Keep at it. Alright, on to day 2. So this is my list of goals for the day. Wish me luck. So I got up at 5 this morning, knowing that my son had to be somewhere at 7:30. I thought that would give me enough time if I had to shower before we had to go. I just failed that hard. I I had to shower, and that was really frustrating. Actually, I didn't have to shower until we got back because I didn't have to go to the bathroom until then. So basically, I got up at 5 for nothing. So that is definitely frustration with OCD. Is you try to plan on things and sometimes it just does not go the way you wanted, and it sucks to have to wake up 2 hours early just so that you know you have time to do the compulsion, and then it doesn't even work out that way. And then you have to do it later than you wanted to do it. This is why I definitely want to get to the point where I'm not needing to shower after going to the bathroom, because it just is not realistic or ideal at all. But hopefully the rest of the day goes better. I was able to get my son to his activity, plenty of time. Got back and didn't have to shower from that, so that was definitely a win. So just keep going. I was able to make breakfast and lunch. Lunch was kind of a disaster, but I was able to do it, so I will take it. And I did touch quite a few things actually that might be contaminated and did not wash my hands. So that was good, challenging, but it was good. And then I was not able to clear and wipe the table or do the garden flag or mail in the garage. Honestly, I don't think I'm going to be able to do the garden flag or the mail in garage until the weekend just because I'm not going to have the time, but I will leave it on there just in case. This is my favorite time of the day because I know that I'm done with all of the things that are hard, and it's a chance to just kind of regroup and recenter and go over what went right and what went wrong and kind of come up with a game plan for tomorrow, and also know that it might not go as planned, and that's okay, and just to do my best, and whatever my best is gonna be okay. Hope that everyone has a awesome night. Bye. Hi, today is day 3. Here is my list for the day. So far, I have already failed the first thing, so I'm trying to come up with, I don't know, something that I could do to hopefully help. That's probably not what I'm supposed to do. I'm probably supposed to come up with sitting in the discomforts, but at this point, I just want to not have to shower, so I'm trying to think of ways I could get around that. But hopefully the rest of the day goes better. The next thing on my list was taking my son to and from his activities and not showering. I did really well with that. Had a couple of, I guess, moments of panic, but did well otherwise. And then making breakfast and lunch. Lunch is still, I don't know why lunch is just hard. I think it's just there's so many steps, there's so many things that could go wrong. But I did do it. It took over an hour, which is annoying, but did it, got it done. And then I did not clean the table or wipe it or exercise. I planned to do those in the evening after dinner, and my husband wasn't feeling well, so I think tomorrow I'm just gonna start with those and get them out of the way so that something doesn't come up at the end. Sometimes that does happen. And then I was able to touch several things that might be contaminated and not wash my hands. I feel like sometimes I feel like that's getting easier. Depends on the thing. But sometimes I feel like that is starting to be less intense as far as my anxiety goes, which is good. That's what I want. I want for it to happen and kind of have that moment of, oh my gosh, is it okay? And then just accept it and move on. So all in all, I would say it was a pretty good day. Hi, this is my to-do list for day 4. Hoping it goes better than yesterday. Wish me luck. So I did do number 1 on my list. Oh my gosh, I cannot tell you how awesome that feels to just know that I can do it. And yeah, I'm sure that I'm gonna have days, probably even tomorrow or the next day, where I slip back into something didn't feel right or whatever, and I will shower again. But just knowing like I can do this, I don't have to shower. That was a really big deal. It makes me feel a bit better. I don't know if it was just, I don't know, the annoyance, I guess, of having to do that, or I had done just some research, like, is this necessary and stuff, and I know that's probably a big no-no or whatever, but I think that kind of did help, and just thinking I didn't do this my whole life and I never died. And I had heard somebody say at some point, like, germs are not always necessarily a bad thing. Like, you don't want to have no germs. If you have no germs, you're not building immunity. It's good for your body to be exposed. And obviously toilet germs, no, you don't want to, like, play with toilet germs and whatever, but, like, if there's something on your pants or your buttoning and zipping, like, that's not the end of the world. You're not going to die. And again, it's good to have exposure to some level of germs. And so I don't know if that or just the frustration helped, but I am very happy that has gone well for me today. So yay, keep going. So far the day's going pretty good. I was able to clear and wipe the table. I was also able to exercise, and I made breakfast and lunch. Lunch, again, I feel like was just very time consuming, stressful, had a lot of things go wrong, but overall I made it, so I am happy with that. I was able to take my son to and from his activities, which was a lot more intense today, as that he had a lot more, but overall that went well. And all through the day I had to touch things that might be contaminated. For the most part, I would say that went well. I did have a time getting out of the car where my head might have touched the top of the part of the car, and I mean, I kept going, but it definitely was trying to avoid touching that spot, and I was definitely washing my hands if I did touch that spot, so kind of passed, kind of failed that one, but I guess I still kept going on with my day, so I'm gonna half count it, but otherwise I was able to do those without having to wash my hands, so that was good. I would say overall it was a good day. And when I do say a good day, I do want to emphasize, though, like, it was a hard day. That's something I feel like people aren't necessarily understanding with OCD. I can, if I have to go out with people or whatever, I can make it look maybe like I'm doing better than I am doing, and I can do mental compulsions or whatever to get myself through, but the actually doing any of the exposures that have planned or not planned are really hard. I feel like they're very draining. It's just like this mental drain, and I could literally just do exposures all day and not do any other thing, and I would be absolutely exhausted by the end of the day. Sometimes, depending on what the exposure is, if it's like out of 10, and that's half or more, for how intense it is for me, like that, I could do one and that would be really draining. So I just wanted to say that, like, I don't want it to be like, oh yeah, she did her exposures and it was really easy and she failed some but did some, and would I fail it, just know, like, that was a really rough situation. It was not, like, easy, and I just didn't feel like doing it. Like, I got to the point where it's like I couldn't help but just do the compulsion, because I either time-wise needed to move on, or I was in such a, I don't know, scared place where I felt like that was the only out, was to do the compulsion. Anyway, but as far as getting things done, it was a good day. I mean, I, for the most part, tackled every single thing on my list, and that is hopeful for me, but, hard to say if tomorrow will be a better day, or if it will be a hard day. So hoping it'll be a good day, but you never know. But that's it for today. Bye. It is day 5, and this is my exposure list for the day. Wish me luck. So, as you can see, I failed the first thing on my list, and I have been doing compulsions for 2 hours. It kind of just spiraled after, I guess I caved to the first compulsion. I was actually doing pretty well and probably didn't need to take a shower. I don't know if anybody else experiences physical sensations, but right when I was about done going to the bathroom, I felt like pressure on my head. And so then I had the worrisome thought, what if I touched my head? And that freaked me out enough that I had to take a shower, which was really frustrating. But then after the shower, it was just one thing after the next, just kept going wrong. And so yeah, 2 hours. 2 hours of compulsions, swiping things, washing my hands. It's just it's very frustrating, and it's like I don't want to spend my day just cleaning things or wiping things or whatever the compulsion is, and I feel like I could have done so many other things, but I was stuck dealing with that. I don't know, it's just very frustrating, but trying to keep a positive mindset, and that's hard when I'm feeling so stuck, and not even just in today and in this compulsion, but just like, is this ever really ever going to improve? I mean, is this what my life is going to be? And maybe the compulsions will change, maybe the themes of OCD will change, but am I just like stuck in this like forevermore? I've seen different types of OCD themes come and go, and so I want to be hopeful, and sometimes I think, gosh, if I only had that type of OCD, that sounds manageable, and yet I know that's not true. I know that right now it sounds manageable because I'm not having the physical sensations that go along with it, so it's easier to say, yeah, that one wouldn't bother me. I don't know, it's just, some days it's just, I just want it to just go away, and I don't want to struggle anymore. I just want it to be a regular day like everyone else without OCD has. But that's not an option, so just trying to learn to live with it, and definitely during times like this, it's really hard. But just take a breath and keep going. So I was able to make breakfast and lunch. Lunch is still taking a lot of time and energy, and it's stressful, but I was able to do it. I was also able to take my son to and from his activities without showering, and I was able to clear the table. I, throughout the day, had touched several things that may have been contaminated, and doing better with that. I think at some point I need to do more specific things that I feel are contaminated that I've been avoiding for a long time, but so far touching things just generally has been pretty good. I was not able to exercise, just didn't have time. It didn't help that I lost 2 hours in the morning, so hopefully I will have more time tomorrow. It is day 6, and these are my exposures for the day. It's going to be a busy day, so wish me luck. So I did not do my first task. Honestly, I think not in a good way, but I was okay with it because I didn't want to feel dirty doing my tasks for the rest of the day. But I wasn't able to do that. I did take my son to the dentist and went to many stores, not even just a store. Went to a lot of stores. And then I also made breakfast, but I did not make lunch because I was not home, so my husband ended up doing the lunch at that time today. I was able to take my son to and from his activities. I did shower after doing that today because we were out and about doing lots of things, and that was something before I even knew I had OCD that I was struggling with, was like going out and getting groceries and whatever and not feeling contaminated back then. It was more of a possible, did I get allergens on me? It's kind of partially shifted. I still worry about allergens on me, but I also worry about other types of contamination, germs and whatnot. But I was able to do that, and I did touch so many things today that could have been contaminated, and yes, I did end up showering, but I got through touching them, so I don't know, I guess I would consider that a win because I could have just gone home and showered right away, and I chose to keep going, so that is, in my mind, improvement. In all the busyness of the day, I was not able to clear and wipe the table. Other than just walking around doing groceries, I was also not able to do my traditional exercising, but did walk around a lot, so kind of, but not quite. But overall, I would say, considering all of these stressors I went through, which was a lot of things, I'd say that the day went as well as it could have, and I'm glad that I made it through it. Hi, it's day 7. Crazy. This is my list of exposures for the day. I'm gonna be honest, I think that this is overambitious, and I'm not going to have the time to do all these or the mental capacity to do all of these, but I'm gonna get through as many as I can. So I was able to do number 1, although I also did number 2, well, technically 4 on here, cleaning the bathrooms. So I think part of it was I knew that I was going to clean the bathrooms immediately after going to the bathroom, and so I felt like by doing the cleaning of the toilets, like that's already dirty, so I think part of that was, I don't know, kind of cheating. I feel like I knew I was about to have to take a shower soon, and that the toilet was already going to be dirty to clean it anyway, so I don't know, but either way, I was able to do that, so I'm going to count it as a victory. I was also able to make breakfast. Lunch, I did make lunch. What I was planning on making, we had actually run out of, and so I had to switch and do something else. I don't know if anyone else struggles with this, but when my plans change on what I'm doing, or something comes up I wasn't expecting, I really have a hard time with that. So even though the lunch itself probably would have been fine had I had planned on making it, it was really hard. I mean, to the point where I was almost in tears. Like, I had to hold back tears because of the frustration. And also, and it just is what it is, but my family is quite loud, and I feel like it was like sensory overload on top of the stress of having to switch plans. But I mean, I didn't cry. I just kept going. I told myself, like, okay, well, we gotta eat. So, it is what it is, and just kept going and ended up making it successfully anyway. And then I was also able to clear the table, didn't wipe it, didn't really need it today. And then wasn't a long exercise, but I did go on a walk up a pretty big hill, so it felt like a harder exercise than it probably was. And I also touched several things that might be contaminated and sat in the discomfort. Also on my walk, I had the thought of, did my leg touch that? Did I touch that? And again, sat in the discomfort. I always wash my hands when I come into the house from being outside. It's just a habit that I've had most of my life. My grandparents were very big on washing your hands when you come in, so I don't think I'm going to count that as a compulsion as much as just a habit. But overall, I would say that went well. So, as I had said before, this was a pretty ambitious list, and as you can see, there was still several things that I didn't get to. Hoping maybe tomorrow, but with it being Father's Day, I'm thinking might not worry about it as much and just make sure that all of the dads in my life and my husband have a really good Father's Day. I hope that everyone had a really good week, and I hope that if you have OCD or anxiety or you're struggling, I hope that God will give you the strength to get through each day and each moment. And I know how just physically and mentally exhausting going through something like that is, and I think sometimes it's really hard to just keep the motivation to keep going. But I can tell you, having gone through having anxiety most of my life and OCD diagnosed anyway for the past 5 years, that you're gonna have ups and downs, but they will improve, and it might take some time, but it will improve. And just keep going, just keep being strong and being the awesome, beautiful people that you are. And I hope that maybe hearing some of my week was maybe helpful for you, just knowing that you're not alone. I feel like that's something I really struggle with, is just feeling so isolated. I don't actually know anybody in my own life that has OCD, and so I think oftentimes that can get me down, just feeling alone, feeling like there's no one else out there going through that, and I know that there is. And so I'm hoping that being able to be a part of my week maybe helped yours. And I will make sure to say a special prayer that God is watching over me as I go into my upcoming week, but also to all of you who, like I said, are struggling or going through OCD or anxiety or really anything that you're going through. I think going through hard times, it doesn't really matter what it's for. I think just being there for one another and having God watch out for you and lead you in a path that is going to bring you to a place where He wants you, a place of love and peace. So I hope everyone has a wonderful upcoming week, and I will talk to you soon. Bye. Oh my goodness, so sorry. I wanted to wish all the fathers out there a happy Father's Day, and I hope that you are surrounded with love and that you're appreciated for all the amazing things that you do for your family. I know having grown up with my dad and my papa, and then also getting to see my husband being dads, and I was blessed with having, I guess you could call, bonus dads, and so I just have so many fathers in my life that I'm so thankful for, and I hope that all of you out there today feel like you're appreciated for all of the things that you do, because you are wonderful leaders and providers, and you just surround us with love and bring us to a place where we feel so safe and comforted, and we are so thankful for you. I hope that all of you have a wonderful Father's Day. Love you guys. See you next week.